Hey Tim, happy Thursday.
Yes, or Friday Eve, as I prefer to call it.
Yeah, totally. So we're a bit early today because we've got busy afternoons. So
We do.
and the team at REI in the marketing department have named our, we've got a name for our
Yes.
little bi-weekly updates, keeping it real with
I
the
love it.
REI NSW.
I love it.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely, because that's what we try and do, keep it real. So we have had some news sort of overnight and this morning from the Prime Minister about the construction support, $25,000.
Yeah, that sounded good, didn't it? And you have to say, finally, they've listened to us. And when they make an announcement, it happens from today. These are the details. This is how you do it. We've all got certainty. Yes, please, rather than some of the other stuff they've done over the last couple of months.
Yep.
Which has just caused market disruption and problems for everybody. So this is good. Well done, government. You finally get a tick.
Yeah, I was really pleased to see that it starts today. There was a bit of negative feedback from people saying, well, you know, construction has been continuing through COVID, so the tradies actually don't need the help, which on the surface appears true, but we know the reality of it is all of the work that's being done right now is work that was booked months and months and months ago. And so
that's right.
There's not a lot of construction that has been booked in the last few months. So I think we would have seen our tradies losing jobs pretty quickly. So I think it's actually a great support from the government.
Oh, it is. And look, you know, at the end of the day, stimulating the market wherever they do it, there's no downside here.
Yeah.
You know, so if there's more work going on, you know, terrific. Whatever sector of the market you stimulate, you've done a good job.
Yeah, absolutely. And to that end, the Real Estate Institute of Australia are still speaking with Treasury around what our industry is going to need in the coming weeks and months. So hopefully, we don't know what that's going to look like, but hopefully we'll get some more news in that space in coming weeks.
Yeah. Well, they've got $680 billion that I'm happy to help them spend, if that would be
so kind of you.
Here to help, you know me.
Yeah, I sure do. Now, you wanted to talk about the renewal of licences.
Please. Yes, please. There is no excuse for not renewing your licence. So there's the number of people, and I had one the other day. In fact, I think I had two over the last couple of weeks where I had phone calls saying, oh, I forgot to renew my licence. So there's just no excuse for that. So. Yeah. Put it in your diary, put it out a couple of weeks, put it in there, make sure it bounces up and reminds you to do it. Put your wedding anniversary in while you're doing it, and your husband and your wife's birthday, do all that, get it into your diary. And,
mine's due today, my licence, but I've got it a month out. So I've got that reminder a month out, and then again on the day today.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, it's not hard, is it? You know, and the amount of times that I get phone calls saying, oh, what do I do now? Please, there's no excuse. Just get it in your diary, make it happen.
Yeah. The other thing is that the Class 1 licence, so if you're currently licensee in charge, in theory, it is rolling over automatically to Class 1. I have been hearing from people that there's a little bit of confusion on the website. So please jump on the website, have a look at your license on the website and call Fair Trading if there's any uncertainty about it.
Yeah.
The other thing is that automatic Class 1 for those that are licensee in charge, there has to be an application if you're a Class 2 and you want to have that Class 1 license, but there's a little bit of confusion around the form. So I'd love to say I can clear that up for you today, but we can't, but we are working on it. So hopefully when our next update next week, we'll be able to clear that up for you.
Yeah, that's right. And once we do know about it, we'll put it in our afternoon EDM so you can go and find it. Just on that, once we do have the form, all I remember is if you have somebody who's the licensee in charge and that somebody, as you know, goes forward and gets automatically their Class 1, if they're sitting now or back on the 23rd, if you want another person in there, write a little story on the form, because if you don't, I've heard a couple of instances where the incumbent licensee in charge has been replaced by the new one that's gone on.
Oh, I see, yeah.
So write a little story in there and tell them what's happening.
Okay. The auctioneer's accreditation on the license, there's a little bit of confusion on that as well.
No, there's no confusion. They're not there.
Oh, right. Okay.
So if the auctioneers go and have a look at the accreditation on their license, they will find that it's not there.
Okay.
And Fair Trading are working on that. I'm not quite sure why it is such a problem, but they've been working on that for some time. I contacted them last week on Thursday afternoon, and said, you know, where's it up to? And it's up to being fixed, but it isn't fixed yet.
Okay.
But
there is a list of auctioneers somewhere on the website.
There is a list on the website if people want to go and hunt for it.
Yeah. Okay.
But if you can't find it on the back of your license, it's because it's not there.
Okay.
Which is a good telltale. Yeah.
Absolutely. We've got a couple of press releases going out again this week. You've got one on the banks.
Yeah, the banks went out yesterday, which is good. The banks. So what we said in that particular press release is, as you know, banks tend to charge an interest rate based on risk. So if they are taking a greater risk, they want a greater return. That's
Sure.
okay. That's fine. I get that. And you know, you go to some of those sort of last resort lenders that we have out there, and their interest rate is very high because they are a last resort lender.
Yeah.
But with the banks, they set your interest rate, and then if your circumstances change adversely, then they put up your interest rate. And what was concerning me here is at the end of this holiday period that the banks are giving us, where you don't have to make your repayments, at that point they will then say, yes, you have to start your repayments, which is also fine. However, if they reassess that loan at that time and say, well, your house is devalued by, well, they're predicting 30%.
Oh, stop it. Don't you mention that word.
I know,
honestly.
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but they're in control here. So if they do take that view and they say you've lost your job or your hours have been, and they have, well, our risk has gone up now, so what we're going to do is increase the interest. Now that's patently unfair.
You're just sort of doing a shot across the bow to say, guys, don't, like, watch out for this.
I'm saying the government get in there and legislate to stop them doing it, because it is standard banking practice that they do it, and that's not acting as a good corporate citizen, in my view, in these circumstances.
No, for sure. We're still trying to get some support for landlords. As everybody knows, a number of the other states have got a $2,000 support package for landlords. But the reality of that, what I'm reading on Facebook and talking to people, it's actually very, very hard to qualify for that support. But we have got another press release going out, and we are trying to still pressure government around getting some support for our landlords.
Yeah, so hoping to put that out tomorrow at some time. But essentially what it's saying is be careful what you wish for here, because we've got the tenants been quite successful this time around with a variety of things. But the landlords don't have to invest in this area. That's the reality. There's plenty of other investment opportunities.
I know.
So don't drive the investment away. Otherwise, the big loser in this would be the tenants.
Yeah.
And frankly, we need to see more stock coming into the market. Right now is a market that is not sustainable.
No,
it will change. We will come back out of this, and when we do, if we've driven investment from it, the big loser is the tenant. So that's the point we're trying to make.
Yeah, absolutely. Fair call. So we've got our webinar on Friday with Chris Hanley, which is incredible.
Yes.
Next week, I think I saw somewhere we've got Lockie Daddo talking about presenting to camera. So that's a really, that will be a great one. I'm going to do that one myself as well.
Yeah.
And we have the Shadow Minister has said absolutely she'd love to come and speak to us. So we're just trying to coordinate a date with her. So that would be amazing.
That's right, and because we are an apolitical body, we've also reached out to the Minister and invited the Minister to also come and be on our show.
Yep.
So he can keep it real with us.
Yes, absolutely. All right, anything else before we go?
No, I think that's it. I've had my rant about renewing your license, which is the one I wanted to mention today. And
perfect.
Yeah, fair enough. Anyway.
All right. Awesome. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.